in a town where there are no small joints, just small stoners, where Kush is a girl's best friend, and law breaking is the new liberty. It's the Hollywood Hemtress Hour, hosted by your honey blonde Hemtress, Terry Joyce.
Hello, welcome to Hollywood Hemtress Hour. This guest that I have here in the studio today, we have been working on having you back on the show again for a while. It's been nearly a year. You were a part of our 420 show, which was on 420, and it was our first year. And I would like to bring back to the show Richard Castaldo. Hello for being here today. Now, this is not 420 this time. We try to get you on the 420 show, but again, this year, our studio taping day does not happen on the actual 420 day.
It's close enough, I think.
I remember that show because we had Craig X Rubin, and a comedian named Vince Fluke was on the show.
Vince Fluke.
Yeah. And I was all excited that the show was actually on 420, and Craig was like, "Oh, Terry, you're just like how you're such like a all about peace and love, and it's silly that you would have think that this was a special day that would be on 420." It was kind of took the wind out of my sails a little bit.
Yeah, he's good at that sometimes.
I know, because he used to be your roommate too.
Yeah, he kind of skipped out on me, but I won't go into that detail right there.
Oh, really?
A little bit, but whatever. He's cool. But.
He's cool. So I remember though too it was a nightmare getting into the studio.
Yes, is like this place you got here is a lot better for me. So I'm glad you moved. It's further away, but it's easier for me because I'm in a wheelchair. I guess I should mention that. I guess.
Yeah,
for the listeners or whatever. So.
You're in a wheelchair, and you're sporting a new nose ring that I don't think you had before.
Oh no, that's not new. I've had this 4 or 5 years now.
Oh really?
Yeah.
You're looking very kind of, punk rockish. You've got the nose ring, and he's got a leather jacket on, and you're wearing shorts, which I always love it when a man wears the leather jacket with shorts. That's always a big fashion statement.
That's not a good look. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's fine.
I need to do laundry, basically.
Yeah, me too, actually. No, I'm not looking so great myself. I had a little what do you call it? A beanie hat on, my Rastafarian beanie hat, and now I had to take it off because the last show I did, the mic was way too loud. I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm deaf with the beanie hat on, so I have bad hair. But it's radio, so what does it matter, right?
You could webcast it if you wanted to. I suppose. I mean,
well, I'm going to start webcasting. Actually,
oh,
yeah,
okay.
I'm going to start doing it's Hollywood Hemtress Ustream, and as a matter of fact, right after this show that's airing, because I think this is the last show that I will be doing without being on Ustream.
Really?
Actually, yeah.
I don't really know that much about it, but I've heard of it.
Ustream is a platform that you can Ustream your video live on air, and then you can archive it and do an MP3 file with it and chop it up and put it on YouTube, and you can connect it to your Facebook, because I have Ustream connected to the Hollywood Hemtress Facebook page. Hollywood Hemtress, our Facebook page. So if you like me on there, you can get all of the information when we're going to be broadcasting Hollywood Hemtress on Ustream.
Cool.
And I'm going to do different things too. I'm going to Ustream the show, but I'm also going to do some stuff where I'm Ustreaming performances, stand-up comedy on stage, and live interviews and conventions, and hemp cons, and who knows, maybe a little bit of the Occupy stuff. I might Ustream from that channel. Occupy, yeah.
It's coming back, I heard, so that's good.
Well, you're like it's like it's coming back.
It never went away.
Occupy's making a comeback.
That's what I keep hearing. I mean, it never went away really, but
no. But I mean, and what do you mean in terms of it's coming back?
I just mean it'll get bigger and bigger. Now that winter's over, 'cause it kind of cooled down during the winter.
Well, it's more than just the fact that we just went, oh, it's cold, let's pack up camp. The police actually showed up.
Well, yeah, that too.
Got raided, got kicked out.
I was there the night it was supposed to happen, but it happened like the next night, I think.
And that's the night that I was there.
Were you? Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I'm always there when the raid's going to happen.
Yeah, I was like, the raid's going to happen. I'm going to go down to that. But I saw the police and it was kind of sketchy, but it never really got official until like the next day, I think.
Have you ever been arrested for civil disobedience?
No, I've came close, but not actually
Really?
arrested. No.
I don't. I mean, to me, it's like, do they just come after guys in wheelchairs and go, let's arrest that guy and throw him on the ground? That just doesn't seem right.
That probably saved me in that case, actually.
Right. So there were benefits to.
There's
not many though, right?
There's some. Let's see. Some random like drunk girl gave me a lap dance the other day, so I guess that's one benefit. I get that sometimes, like, oh, you're in a wheelchair and they like drunk and like don't know where to go and like, oh, I want to sit on you. All right, that's cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it happens occasionally.
So it's a chick magnet.
Once in a while.
Once in a while. Well, I mean, you are a good-looking guy. I mean, it's not like
we can't see it at home though because you don't have Ustream yet.
When I have Ustream,
you'll have to invite me back so you can see.
Everybody will see how handsome Richard is in his leather jacket and shorts.
AKA Dick Castle.
AK what?
I said AKA Dick Castle.
Dick Castle? Dick Castle.
That's my alternative name.
Oh, is that your porn name?
That's my porn/comedy name. Sometimes.
Dick Castle. Starring Dick Castle.
Just throwing it in there, out there. I don't know.
So now 420 is kind of is a significant day for you and for more reasons than one.
It's an odd day, yeah.
It's an odd day.
It can be.
I wouldn't say it was significant, but I mean, like 420. I mean, first of all, let's just go about. Since 420's come up, and since we did the 420 show, 420 means a lot. It's like a secret code to everybody who is in the marijuana know. And pretty soon, I believe that we'll have a national holiday for 420.
Well, it kind of already is.
It kind of already is. I mean, there's festivals. I mean, what are you going to do for 420?
Actually, that's the last day of this job I started a couple months ago.
Oh, that's nice.
So I got that going on too.
Is that the signature gathering?
Yeah. I just work in an office right now,
but what a thing to do, like call it 420. Do you get more signatures like when you being in a wheelchair? I mean, not just say like
I'm not actually collecting the
signatures
signatures anymore. I'm just working in the office.
But when you did, would it be an asset in terms? Because I did it too.
Yeah, I think so. Some people come up to me like, I don't really care that much about this, but I'll sign it because
you're in a wheelchair.
I had this one guy's like, I'll sign it for you. Like he's like, I'm not for you specifically. I'm like, all right, whatever, just sign it. I don't care what the reason is really.
It's to me, it's the perception of, and I'm going to laugh at it for a second because like I used to wear a back brace when I was growing up. I had scoliosis, so it's funny when people perceive you in a certain way, and then I'd be like, well, I could take the brace off, like for instance, like I would be at the mall walking around and you'd see somebody laughing, they'd be like ha 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 ha, and then they see you and they get real serious, like oh, there's a person who's has a disadvantage or they're and so how does that mean, like because I know like at one point you weren't always in a wheelchair. Is that something that's difficult to adjust to? Did it affect you or how do you?
Well, yeah, April 20th, that'll be the 13-year anniversary of the thing that happened, the Columbine thing. So it's been a while. So
you said that very quickly, and I think somebody might like actually miss what happened.
Right.
But you were in the Columbine shooting.
Right. Yeah, that's why I'm in a wheelchair.
Sure.
So yeah, it's been 13 years, which is seems like a long time. So, which I guess it is. So.
It is a long time.
It happened when I was 17, so I'm 30 now. So it's a while ago.
And so you were 17 when it happened?
Yep. 17.
I remember watching that movie.
Oh yeah.
Before I met you, too.
Oh really? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And then when Craig was introduced me to you, and he said,
Right.
you could have him on the show and happen on 420, and he was in the Columbine shooting, and then all of a sudden I went, oh my, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people recognize me.
So doing the movie with Michael Moore, how did that all come about for you?
I was just in the paper for something, and then he saw it and called me, basically.
Well,
yeah, I mean, it was that simple.
Yeah. What is he like? Did you like him?
Yeah, he's all right. I haven't really spoken to him in a while, but I don't know.
I like his movies.
Yeah, I mostly agree with his point of view or whatever, but
yeah,
I haven't really talked to him in a while. So
he's done some. He's very progressive and outspoken, and willing to question and explore things that I guess maybe not be the popular opinion of people that are controlling our government.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I'd like to bring up to you, I mean, and this is something that's been affecting me, or I've been giving some thought to it. And I'm going to go ahead and be really frank about what the story is behind it. I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want to divulge or anybody's identity. Okay. But I found a friend found me again through Facebook a while back. Yeah. And, we had done some extra work together back in maybe the mid 90s or so. And we reconnected, and with Facebook, I do a lot of different posting about the show, and when I was in the Occupy and I was occupying, I would post pictures and I put I post different things that I feel are relevant, that I had watched. If I watch a video that is explaining something that's going on in the world, or how or maybe close to being information out there for my friends to take a look at, I'm always reposting it. So at some point he approaches me and he says, "Oh, Terry, I'm very interested in the Occupy movement. I want to come down and do some video footage, or I'd like to go to a General Assembly. Can you remind me of this and that?" And we kind of passed stuff. It never really gelled to where he came to a General Assembly meeting. But he started making these videos, and he would send me a video that he made, and he would give his rant or assessment on what he felt was happening politically, with Monsanto and the Federal Reserve and the breakdown of our banking system and our civil rights being taken away. And in the background, I noticed that he had this big, I don't know, towel of a gun behind his head. It was just a big gun. And in my opinion, I understand the Second Amendment. I understand why, it needs to be protected. Basically, the bottom line is if our government got out of control, and the people weren't armed, then, a lot of people feel that that's dangerous.
Right.
My own personal feeling about guns would be, no. Why can't we live in a world that we don't, that the desire or the need to actually use a gun doesn't really exist? That we are, and again, I feel like some people might look at me and say, "Oh, that's a really naive, how could you believe that way? How could you believe that there would be such harmony in the world and such love that, that you would never need to have a gun or have a gun underneath your pillow, or have, think that you have to protect yourself against a perpetrator." There's just so many these issues. But in my mind, if I were to sit here and if thought created reality, and I would say, well, what kind of world do I want to see right now? I go, guns would not exist.
Well, yeah.
So my friend, we're watching this, and I go, okay, Terry, have an open mind. I know he has a gun behind his head. And I'm thinking, when you're talking about civil rights and freedom and stuff like that, and you're wanting to have peace in the world, to have like a gun behind your head, like a big old poster of a gun is kind of like, something's like not really. Like I would have maybe had retweeted or redone his video, but the fact that there was a gun behind him.
This is a video you're talking about?
Yeah, he made a video, and he had a picture of a gun behind his head while he's talking about all the things that are happening with the government.
What video is this? What are you talking about?
Well, I don't want to say who it is, right? I mean, because I'm actually I'm sort of talking out against him right now, so I don't want to divulge.
I'm just trying to figure out what you're talking about.
Well, I mean, he had this gun behind him in his video, and I'm like, well, I don't want to if I'm gonna retweet something, or if I'm going to post something on my Facebook, usually it's something that I really, all things check out for me to want other people to watch it. So I was like, well, and he asked me, he goes, well, what do you think about my video? Can you analyze it? And I gave him some notes or whatever. And I know I'm rambling, but I'm going to get to the point.
What's the point?
The point is that I made a video. So he sent me a video, and then I made a video, right? Uh-huh. And they go, hey, will you check out my video? And I'd like to see what you want to say about it. And he says something. He goes, Terry, I just don't really support marijuana. Oh, really? I don't support marijuana legalization, and
that seems weird,
right? And he says I think, and he says something like, I think you're doing awful things, and I'm like, and so I'm okay. Now you can see where I'm going with.
Yeah, now I see. Okay.
So then I type back and I go, what do you mean I'm doing awful things? Because in my mind, I'm coming from a good place in my heart, right. Because I believe that this is a medicine, and hemp can save the planet. And if you really break it down, what's the real reason why marijuana is legal? You can trace it to certain families that made it illegal in 1937.
The Hearst people.
The Hearst people, the Rockefeller people, the J.P. Morgan people, the DuPont family, which is the very same people that have their hands in the Federal Reserve.
It was all the money thing, right?
Right. And it's, you go, okay, the corruption of Standard Oil, all of that stuff. We're not talking about people wanting to sit around in their house and get high. And he's like, I said, well, what about industrial hemp? And he goes, oh, well, you people don't really care about that. He goes, that's not what you're using it for. I'm thinking, well, we would use it for if it was actually legal.
Have you ever had a problem with overcooking your cannabis oil? You probably wanted to rip your hair out when you burned off all the THC, right? I even cried one time when my brownies failed to make a good impression at the party. Well, I stopped crying when I found Magical Butter. Magical Butter is a device with a microprocessor-controlled program sequencer. It was designed by a scientist and a chemist to precisely extract the benefits of various herbs. Magical Butter easily makes botanical butter, oils, tinctures, lotions, sauces, and more. Magical Butter heats your oil and your herbs at the perfect temperature every time. Check us out at magicalbutter.com because it's magical. Okay, there's a lot of science and chemistry involved, but it sure works like magic.
If you are in the Portland, Oregon area and are an OMMP cardholder, then come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market, Portland, Oregon's first and only weekly OMMP market, presented by the Alternative Wellness Center, located at 5241 Southeast 72nd Avenue, 2 blocks south of Foster Boulevard, close to public transportation, held every Sunday 10 a.m. till 7 p.m., connecting quality vendors with patients. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market also has a weekly raffle with products from every vendor, so come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market and have fun while connecting with quality vendors and getting great natural medicine. If you are a vendor and want a chance to connect with OMMP patients, you can check out their Facebook page at facebook.com/Alternative Wellness Center or call 971-888-4392. Be sure to register early because space is limited. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market.
I don't know about you, but when I cultivate my clones, I want to give each and every one the best chance to grow into a mature, healthy plant. But after a few cloning cycles, I experienced decreased root density, slimy stems, or even worse, no roots at all. Growers know that reusing cloning collars results in failed clones. And cleaning cloning collars between grow cycles requires extra work and decreases root density. That's why I use permaclone. Permaclone collars have been engineered to prevent failed clones by providing heat sterilizable collars which fit easy clone, turbo clone, or power cloner systems. Permaclone collars can be dry heat sterilized, pressure cooked, or autoclaved to completely kill all bacteria and fungi without harsh chemicals. Start cloning with confidence today and visit us at permaclone.com. Put in the code T for hemp with your order and receive a 10% discount on your purchase.
Headshot Canada. Based in Saskatchewan, Canada, it is shaking up the medical cannabis industry. Headshot Canada helps Canadian citizens in getting a medical marijuana license. They do this by filling out the paperwork. They also help explain your needs to your doctor and also help find the right strain for your condition. For this service, Headshot Canada charges a nominal fee of $100 and your participation in a research and development study to test the effectiveness of different cannabis strains on various medical conditions. Owner and founding farmer Tim Selinsky wants every Canadian to know that you have the universal right to a marijuana license. Unlike Compassion Clubs, Headshot Canada's goal is to get the right strain of cannabis for the ailment at a fair flat rate price for the patient no matter the strain. Headshot Canada offers 57 strains of cannabis grown at family-owned farms in Saskatchewan as opposed to Canadian federal government's one strain of irradiated garbage grown in a lab. Go to headshopcanada.com.
Free? Did you say free? Free hemp? Free hemp? Free hemp video and audio? Free downloads of all the top artists, all the pot artists on planet Earth. Interviews with all the people making the movement, making the hemp movement. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp.
That's what we're fighting for here.
Make more sense.
So then I say something like, of course I get reactive, right? And I say something like, well, you know what? I really don't like guns.
And he said,
and then he said, well, this is our civil rights and this is our freedom and this is that and blah, 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 blah. And he goes on about that. As if like the gun issue is more of a civil rights issue or a freedom issue than the marijuana is. I mean, I don't see how you can say like I go, okay, well, I can understand that. I understand that you're wanting to protect your rights. As a citizen, you want to protect the Constitution. You want to protect what it is that you believe to be an American is, which to you symbolizes the fact that you can have a gun, in your freedom. But, what about the fact that cannabis was legal when America first started?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't say anything about weed in the
No.
Constitution. So.
Well, I mean, it doesn't say anything about weed in the Constitution, but it does say that we have the right of the pursuit of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Right.
Pursuit of happiness also equates to property, which could be hemp.
Well, yeah.
The
laws are all messed up.
They are messed up.
Now.
And the only reason why you can take that happiness away from somebody is if that happiness actually was harmful to yourself or harmful to other people or your community. All right?
Right.
And so it's more harmful to make it so we can't have hemp. So therefore...
Well, the drug war and stuff, I mean, that costs a lot of money and puts a lot of people in jail and stuff, so...
Well, I mean, we can break down, like, the reasons why this is happening. But when you take it to the basic level of the Constitution, and this is our unalienable rights, which means... Unalienable means that because you are human and you are in the image of your creator, and whether you consider that to be God or however, but the fact that you are a human being, by those conditions, you are allowed those particular rights. That's just, that's the way it is. So if you want to go down to like breaking down the Constitution, we do fall under the Constitution.
Well, I'm with you. Yeah, what was it? The Oakster Dam just got raided or something, right? Like a couple weeks, or what was it, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, and Richard Lee pulled out and shut it down.
Yeah,
and so now Oakster Dam is closed.
Yeah,
permanently.
I don't get that one. That's why we're wasting money on that one. I don't get. It seems like the feds should have more important things to do than bust
medical marijuana.
Yeah, I mean, I can think
institutions
of
that educate people how to grow cannabis.
If we make a list right here, I bet we can come up with like 10,000 things that they should be doing rather than that. But I don't know. Crazy.
So that being said, on the gun control laws, and also the fact that they're not that if you use marijuana, or if you're a patient, now they're wanting to restrict your right to bear arms. Now, being that you have had what happened to you, what are your personal feelings about gun control laws?
Anyway, so the gun thing, I don't know, probably somewhere in the middle between you and whoever you're talking about. I think you should be able to have a gun, but I do think there should be, background checks and stuff like that. I just think, buying assault rifles or whatever without at least, who are you? What are you doing? Excuse me. I just think, there should be background checks, in my opinion.
I thought they were.
Well, yeah, there usually is. I don't really know what all the laws are exactly. I know there was like I think the gun shows you could still buy all kinds of stuff without really background checks. So, I just think.
And by the way, you can't go into a hemp con and buy some weed.
Right, like weed
without a background check.
Yeah, like weed is somehow more dangerous than guns. Yeah, I mean, I'm not totally against guns. I just think there's got to be some kind of a.
Yeah, but how is it that weed is more dangerous? Which, by the way, no one's ever died from using. We have all these legal background checks and ability to get arrested, but somebody can just go to a convention and buy a bunch of guns without having a sufficient background check.
Yeah, obviously it should be the other way around. I'm totally with you on that one. I mean,
right? Yeah. It should be the other way around.
I mean, I think that guy kind of has a point. I mean, the government does get out of control sometimes, which kind of worries me. I mean, it's not going in a good direction exactly. But, that being said, I don't think that should be an excuse like, go buy like an army's worth of guns or something. I don't know. Yeah,
but he had no tolerance for me whatsoever. Like I was like this awful person, and he was this, freedom fighter for our civil rights. I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, really? I mean, I really got, and I know I'm being emotional right now, but and here's another, and I'm going to even go farther in this conversation. One of the reasons why he said he was so turned off to marijuana was that he said that it killed his father.
What?
Yes.
What kind? I don't understand.
Right. So
how?
Right. Because because then I'm thinking because he goes, Terry, I can't get involved in this because marijuana killed my father.
He's using like the gateway theory or whatever.
Well, he said that his father smoked it. He got really depressed. And that he got really depressed, became lethargic, started to get really lazy, and ended up killing himself, shooting himself in the head with a gun.
With a gun, okay. Well,
yeah.
That's ironic. Okay.
I know. And so eventually, in the conversation, as I'm bantering back and forth, I go, no, let's get to the point here. Well, first of all, I said, I'm sorry that your father, killed himself. I'm really, I'm sorry that your father committed suicide.
That's a tragic.
And I'm sorry he suffered from depression. I said, but you know what? A lot of people use marijuana for depression.
Right.
And it's a lot. I mean, there are no reported suicide side effects for using marijuana. I go, they are, though, included in depression drugs.
Right, yeah. The pharmaceutical stuff, yeah, that stuff's far more dangerous.
So I made that point to him, and then he didn't want to hear that, and so eventually it came to where I said, no, it wasn't marijuana that killed your dad. It was the gun.
Yeah, incidentally, the Columbine shooters are on, or one of them at least was on, was it Luvox, that psycho, what they call it, psychotropic or whatever drug. they had found it in the system, like on the autopsy or whatever. So, I mean, yeah, I'm definitely more opposed to those pharmaceuticals. And I mean, that's what's crazy. I mean, you can go to a doctor and get all that stuff, and that's totally cool. But like, try to get marijuana somewhere, it's like, oh God, you're doing something horrible. And it grows out of the ground, totally natural. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. But whatever, a lot of things don't make sense in the government.
Psychotropic drugs. Okay, so not only will like somebody could take psychotropic drugs basically to help you get to where you're not depressed, right?
Right.
But then you end up committing suicide. I mean, how is this in the drug trial, or how is it like they are able to say, oh, this actually really helps people? But there might be a certain people that will take a gun and shoot a bunch of other people and then themselves. It could happen. It's random. But when but the fact that we say this, we state it on all of our commercials means that you know the knowledge of what's going to happen. So we're not really liable for the extra little thing that might just go awry
just in case
by taking this medication. I find that like, why doesn't anybody question that in our society?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, just in case. I don't know. I think they buy off the FDA. I mean, obviously, the FDA is getting being bought off by somebody.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you who is being bought off by somebody. Is our media.
Yeah.
There's 8 out of 9 of our major media corporations have board of directors from pharmaceutical companies on their board of directors, and vice versa.
I hadn't heard that, but it sounds right. I won't question it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you the link to check it out.
Okay.
Actually, I've been reading David Wilcox, he's on divinecosmos.com, and he's done a complete, it's about our financial tyranny and what's happened and what's broken down.
Right.
And, our politicians, I mean, the pharmaceutical companies have a big chunk of what's going on and controlling our media. That's why I feel that's why we don't see any pro-cannabis commercials.
Right. They definitely want to keep that. Well, that's the other. They want to keep that out of the market. So that if you can grow it in your house or whatever, there would be no reason to go to the pharmaceutical companies. Yeah, but
really, how many people are gonna grow in their house? Some people. Come on.
It's a hassle, but I'm sure some people would do it.
Yeah, but not everybody can grow something.
I tried. I couldn't do it.
You know what? I tried too, and it was kind of. I was really disappointed. I was disappointed myself. I'm like, what's wrong with me that I can't seem to grow a plant?
It's kind of a pain in the ass, like it was for me. I don't know.
Well, medical marijuana plants. If you look at it, people are like, oh, there's the light and the water and the pH balance and sing music to it, it's like. Jesus, it's like it's more than a baby to take care of.
I had a neighbor that just grew some on her porch or something. I was like, how? Like, really? You just grew some on your porch? It's like, oh yeah, I just threw some seeds, whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm trying to do it this complicated way, and she's just like, oh yeah, I just threw some seeds in a jar. I'm like, oh okay, all right.
I grew it on the porch. Well, there was one guy, and I've said this before on the show. I'm going to say it again, because I did camp out during the Occupy for a few days.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I did.
I didn't go that far. I was there. I can't. It's kind of harder for me to camp out anyway. But
yeah. But they said that the one guy goes, oh, I'm growing. I seeded a marijuana plant at City Hall, and and I saw it, but they kept taking the leaves off, a little bit, so it didn't look exactly like a plant. But now that we were rated, I wonder if it's just maybe it would be so great if just this huge Jack and the Beanstalk, marijuana plant grew up out of the earth.
I don't think they'd let that stand too long. Well, maybe they would. Oh,
what is that?
The workers. I guess the people, city council going in there, bogarting some. Hey, I know what that is. Even though they crack down on it, I bet it wouldn't surprise me.
Right.
Trying to get some on the side,
So we have another guest that I want to introduce to the show. Oops, I'm sorry. We had a little bit of feedback. How did that happen?
I don't know. Is that me or you?
That's. I think it was me. I don't know. Maybe it was you.
Maybe
it's your nose ring caused it to go off. Actually, I'd like to introduce to the show. She is a molecular hydration specialist. And, like with cannabis, and alternative healing and helping people get well, there is, water, believe it or not, has been doing some, amazing things, for people. So I would like to introduce, Francine Flores to the show. How are you, Francine?
Hi, Terry. I'm well, dear. How are you today?
Oh, we're doing good. I've had like 2 or 3 cups of coffee, so I'm amped enough.
Oh, good.
I had double shot espresso with me earlier, too.
You did?
That'll do it.
So, Francine, I wanted to talk to you about, you have a filter system, which is a high alkaline with a negative ORP system that provides a certain type of water. What is that exactly?
What it is, Terry, it is a medical device approved by the Japanese Ministry of Health in Japan to produce these water ionizers so that people can own this medical device, which is very affordable, and have them in their home. There are hospitals in Japan and many residences who own these units in their home. It sits on the countertop and it connects directly to the faucet, and when the water goes through the system, through the unit, it will filter the contaminants out of the water, and then the water will go through an ionization process. There are 7 plates in the machine, and what that means to all of us is that it will help to improve our health. As you know, our bodies are over-acidic, and when we can change our environment from an over-acidic environment to an alkaline environment, then our body begins to naturally heal itself the way it was created.
That is...
Now, the interesting thing, you were talking about Big Pharma.
Yes.
And why this appealed so much to me is because a friend of my husband's shared the water with us. And I, like all other Americans, are kind of convinced by Big Pharma that when we get sick, we go to the doctor, we get a prescription, and hopefully we'll get better. It will help to change the symptoms, but never to get to the root cause of the problem. You know, in Western civilization, that's how we approach health, is from that perspective. But in Eastern civilization, they do it a little differently. In countries like Japan, they don't just take the medication. They do natural things like meditation and deep breathing and Tai Chi and acupuncture, acupressure, reflexology, all of these natural remedies to rid themselves of the root problem rather than to just put a Band-Aid over it like we're used to. When I heard about the machine, I was taking medication, and I was a little bit skeptical, but I started drinking the water, and now my whole body is naturally healing itself as opposed to taking all the meds that I was so used to doing before I got the machine. So this water is very high in alkalinity, and it has a negative ORP, an oxidation reduction potential. And what that means to us is that it helps to remove oxidation from the body. And all of us are trying to do that when we eat foods that are high in antioxidants. We're trying to get rid of oxidation. A food that is high in antioxidants will go into our body, and it will remove free radicals from the body.
THCF Medical Clinics are the premier physicians clinic in the United States. THCF has offices all across the United States from Hawaii to Michigan. THCF Medical Clinics has helped approximately 150,000 patients obtain their medical marijuana permits to legally possess, grow, and use medical marijuana. If you have chronic pain, multiple sclerosis, or any other neurological degenerative disease, or if you have any gastrointestinal disorders such as GERD, irritable bowel syndrome, or if you have AIDS, cancer, spastic disorders, seizure disorders, or glaucoma, call us at 1-800-723-0188 or visit us online at hemp.org. Again, the number is 1-800-723-0188 and the site is HEMP.org.
I don't know about you, but when I cultivate my clones, I want to give each and every one the best chance to grow into a mature, healthy plant. But after a few cloning cycles, I experienced decreased root density, slimy stems, or even worse, no roots at all. Growers know that reusing cloning collars results in failed clones. And cleaning cloning collars between growth cycles requires extra work and decreases root density. That's why I use permaclone. Permaclone collars have been engineered to prevent failed clones by providing heat sterilizable collars which fit easy clone, turbo clone, or power cloner systems. Permaclone collars can be dry heat sterilized, pressure cooked, or autoclaved to completely kill all bacteria and fungi without harsh chemicals. Start cloning with confidence today and visit us at permaclone.com. Put in the code T for hemp with your order and receive a 10% discount on your purchase.
Indigrow is your source for affordable induction grow lighting. First discovered in 1891 by Nikola Tesla, Indigrow lights deliver 11 years of electronic sunlight to your plants. Indigrow lamps require less than half the power of traditional HID lamps. Converting to Indigrow lights means you'll cut down on your power bill with less lighting. Indigrow lamps also use 5 times less mercury than traditional fluorescent or HID lamps, making Indigrow not only energy efficient but environmentally friendly as well. No more switching out lamps between vegetative and flowering stages. As nature intended, your lights get a steady dose of UV light. That makes your plants grow healthier and stronger. Indigrow products are manufactured in San Diego, California, and come with a written 10-year warranty. What Tesla knew, then growers know now, is that Indigrow lighting is the cost-effective addition to your victory garden. To learn more or order now, go to inda-grow.com. That's INDA-GRO.com, or call 877-452-2244 to answer any of your questions. These guys really know lights. Indigrow really is your sunlight in a box.
Have you ever had a problem with overcooking your cannabis oil? You probably wanted to rip your hair out when you burned off all the THC, right? I even cried one time when my brownies failed to make a good impression at the party. Well, I stopped crying when I found Magical Butter. Magical Butter is a device with a microprocessor-controlled program sequencer. It was designed by a scientist and a chemist to precisely extract the benefits of various herbs. Magical Butter easily makes botanical butter, oils, tinctures, lotions, sauces, and more. Magical Butter heats your oil and your herbs at the perfect temperature every time. Check us out at magicalbutter.com because it's magical. Okay, there's a lot of science and chemistry involved, but it sure works like magic.
Education and information. See what all the buzz is all about. It's time for hemp. It's time for hemp.
This water is very, very abundant in oxygen, and it also is abundant in free electrons. And what that does is all of these free radicals that are in our body scavenging our bodies, they scavenge the healthy cells to steal electrons. When you drink a glass of this water, it is filled with billions of extra free electrons. So they provide a host to the free radical so that the free radical will be eliminated through the body's natural cleansing process. So what that means is when you're getting rid of free radicals and when you're changing the acid environment to an alkaline environment, now your body begins to work the way it's supposed to. And the way it did probably many years ago when we were much younger. As we age, this is a much harder process for our bodies to handle on itself because of the excess overload of our lifestyle.
I have to say, I've come in and I've tried the water, and I'm getting my first system. As a matter of fact, I'm getting a system tomorrow, and I'm very excited. Once you start to drink the water, you realize you don't want to go back to anything different. The first time I drank it, now you gave me a glass of 9.5 alkaline or ORP too as well, or 800 negative ORP. And I actually, the minute I drank it, my mind got really clear. It was almost like it was like, oh wow, this is how my head is. This is how my brain works. I felt like my brain was dehydrated. And seriously, and then I got kind of a buzz. Like all of a sudden, I like, who needs to drink coffee, really? And that was my first experience with it. And I said, wow, there's really something different happening here. And you gave me a jug of it to take home, and I've been drinking it ever since. And I have gotten compliments from people that I look better. There's with this machine, you can adjust the waters to different levels of pH as well as more acidic, and you have a 2.5 water that you can put on your skin because your skin has more acid in it. And my friend right away, I hadn't even been spraying my face for a week, and she said she thought it looked like I had a chemical pill.
That's correct, because you were naturally hydrating from the inside by drinking the 9.5 pH, and then you were applying the beauty water, which is actually the 6.0 pH that restores the acid mantle to the skin. The 2.5 would be used for any type of skin problems, which you don't have.
Oh.
You have good skin to begin with. But
beautiful skin.
yeah, you have great skin. And also the reason you felt that little buzz and you felt clarity of thought when you immediately drank the water is because the water is also microclustered. Regular clusters of water are about 15 to 20 molecules, water molecules per cluster. When the water goes through the ionization process, it breaks those water clusters down to about 5 to 6 water molecules per cluster. What you were feeling, Terry, is the water was hydrating your brain. It gets to your brain within the first 60 seconds of drinking it. So you also mentioned, you remembered so much about what you drank the first time. You were drinking 9.5 pH with a negative 800 ORP. Had you been drinking regular water, any water, whether it was bottled, tap, reverse osmosis, any of those waters have a positive ORP. Now, if you drink a gallon of positive ORP water, you are adding oxidation to your body. You drank one glass of negative 800 ORP, very, very, very powerful antioxidant. And you felt that glass and it gave you that buzz.
Yeah.
That's what you were feeling.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you were feeling.
I was blown away. I mean, you wouldn't think that water affects, good water would affect you that way. And I swear by it. I swear by it now. I don't even want to be without it anymore.
Well, water is life, and your body and my body, we are 75% water. Now, what kind of water are we putting in our body? Are we putting in acidic water that is toxic, or are we putting in good water that is healthy? It makes a huge difference. When a baby is born, they are almost 100% alkaline. When a person dies, they are about 60% water at death. And we are about 75% water. So a person who only has 60% water is going to be much more acidic than someone like us who is in, the prime of our life. If you're drinking 9.5 alkaline, your pH level is going to be higher. And if you're drinking with that negative 800 ORP, that's going to be antioxidant rich, and it's going to help fight against the stress that we all live with, the pollutants in the air. As we age and our metabolism slows down, that creates free radicals in the body. All of these things, these are just natural processes that create free radicals, and we need to have a more effective way of getting these free radicals out of our body. If you look at Eastern culture, in the country of Japan, for instance, 1 in 4 households owns an ionizer. In the United States, it's 1 in every 12,000. When I heard that, my heart broke, because this machine has been in the United States for 8 years. It has been in the world for 38 years, okay? We barely got it 8 years ago. I just heard about this a year and a half ago. So where was I for 6.5 years? I don't know. I never heard about it. I had been into alternative therapy, but, like acupuncture and even people that medicate with medicinal cannabis. I mean, these are all alternative therapies that we should be using. Now, why didn't we know about the cyanizer? I don't know why I didn't know about it. I've been doing all other alternative therapy, but I had never heard about it, and now I know about it, and I want everyone to know about it. I've shared it with my family and my friends, and I was so happy when you tried the water and you had such amazing results. But I think that's because you're in good health already. But there are a lot of people out there who are very ill. I mean, we have people who have degenerative diseases, cancer, diabetes, gout, obesity, high blood pressure, all these different diseases that people have that get worse over time, and they're taking medication on top of medication on top of medication. Some of them are having relief and some of them are not. This water can make a big difference in everyone's life. It can help someone like you who's already healthy to feel better, to have more clarity of thought, to be able to have a nicer complexion and somewhat of a rejuvenation. And it can help your body to work at its optimum level. But it can also help to reverse some of these health problems that people have, not because the water cures, but because it creates the environment for the body to naturally heal itself.
And it's amazing how our bodies really are, too. One point I wanted to bring out is that, and you mentioned that, it's in Japan, and that 1 in every 4 households has it in Japan, but every hospital has it in Japan, and they have the lowest death rate in the world.
They do, and they have the highest life expectancy. What's interesting is you have this small country who has the highest life expectancy in the world, and then you have the United States, which is this huge nation that is number 38. And can I add that we are right under Cuba? That's a little disheartening to me. Maybe we need to adopt some of these healthier lifestyles, even if it's not by changing the foods we eat, but just by the water that we drink. To me, now I feel like I have a little bit of an edge. I have to be honest, I haven't changed the way I eat. I haven't increased my exercise. I haven't changed my sleeping or anything else. All I've done is change the water that I'm drinking, and my health has improved. And it sounds a little far-fetched, but the difference of putting acidic water and more oxidation into my body versus putting antioxidants into my body and an alkaline water in my body has completely changed my internal environment. And everything has changed with it, and it's gotten better. I have the same clarity that you have. I don't drink coffee like I used to. I used to be a Starbucks junkie, and I like my coffee. And now I do have coffee occasionally because I like the taste, but I don't drink it for the boost. What I do every morning is I'll drink a quart of 9.5 alkaline water right out of the machine. As soon as I pour it out of the machine, I drink a quart. It sounds like a lot. You get used to it. I'll drink that quart, and that's my pick-me-up in the morning. And I think you said that you had the same result by drinking the water. You felt that.
Yeah, absolutely. And even the very next day, I brought my jug home and I drank some, and I was just feeling phenomenal. I couldn't believe how good I felt, by drinking it. So yeah. And one thing I'd like to have you mention to the listeners is about these scientists that won the Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh, yes, Dr. Otto Warburg.
Not the Peace Prize, but the Nobel Prize.
The Nobel Prize.
For science or something?
For science, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, for science.
Yeah.
In 1931, Dr. Otto Warburg won the Nobel Prize because he proved that cancer lives in an acidic environment. So what that tells us is that if we can change our environment, then we can put cancer into remission. As we all know, we all have cancer cells. Now, some people's cancer cells wake up, and some people's cancer cells stay asleep, just for simplification. Now, to wake up a cancer cell, the overacidity in the body will begin to feed that cancer cell, and it will start to multiply. When you stop the acid and reduce the acid and change it to alkaline, change the environment, the internal body's environment to alkaline, that cancer will naturally go into remission. And it sounds a little crazy, because why is it that if this was discovered in 1931, I didn't know about it until I started to become a distributor and sell these machines? I didn't know anything about this. But this is something that is proven. And so if we can just do this and drink these waters, then we can benefit from not having cancer cells wake up in our bodies. Now, acidity is the root of many illnesses, not just cancer. There are many, many illnesses that are caused by overacidity. Another one that the nation is struck with is obesity. And this is another misconception. Everyone that is obese, you keep hearing the doctors tell them, cut down on fat, cut down on fat. And that's really not true. The problem with obesity is overacidity. And the reason the body retains the fat is to encapsulate that acid, because the acid is very destructive in the body. If you get rid of the acid, you will get rid of the fat. And so fat is not the problem, and as we all know, there are a lot of good fats out there that we need. And if we don't have too much acid in our body, the body will not hold the fat. Oh. So there are a lot of misconceptions out there, and it's not just about people with cancer and diabetes and gout and all these serious illnesses. Something as simple as being a few pounds overweight that can begin with a few pounds overweight and maybe later turn into obesity is because of overacidity. So overacidity, as Dr. Otto Warburg proved, is the root cause of many illnesses, one including cancer.
Well, I want to thank you so much for calling in, Francine. And where can our listeners find your website and check the machine out?
They can go to www.miraclewatertoday.com. And there are many videos on there. They're short 3 to 4 minute videos. It'll explain about pH. It'll explain about negative ORP. It will show them the different machines that are available. My contact information is on there, and if they have any questions, they can email me, text me, call me, and I'll be happy to help them with anything they need to know.
That's wonderful. And I just also want the listeners to know out there that I will be marketing this product and through Hollywood Hemptress Hour and the Hollywood Hemptress Hemporium website, which is at www.hollywoodhemptress.com. You can check it out there as well, and you will see it through our Twitter feed and on Facebook, and we'll be blogging about it, and we'll keep our listeners informed on the new developments that what this water can do. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you, Terry. You have a good day, dear.
You
Bye-bye
too.
now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so that was Francine Flores with the water ionizer, and
I'm kind of thirsty now.
you need to be hydrated.
Yes.
So there's some stuff that's been going on with you lately, and some stuff with the trust fund that you have going on.
Yeah,
and
I wanted to mention briefly, if anyone knows any lawyers out there and Hollywood Hemptress Hour listeners, I don't know, it's kind of a complicated situation, but basically my trust got way out of line, and I just need someone to help me out with it. I don't really have ton of money. I was hoping to find one, pro bono or at least on contingency, but it's kind of not having so much luck lately. But I was thinking maybe if, it's kind of a high profile case, so it probably gets some free publicity out of it, if nothing else.
What makes it high profile?
Well, just, it's related to, this whole trust thing came out of the Columbine shooting. Yeah. That's where all the monies came from.
Which would what it was to support you for the rest of your life?
Yeah, now it was all just totally mismanaged by my mom, actually. So
your mom.
It's kind of a jacked up situation, but it's just I don't know. I need to do something with it because I don't really know what to do, but I haven't really had much luck. So I don't know. I've been trying to look for a lawyer, but they all want money up front, which I don't really have. So I don't know. But I was going to say I was going to give my Twitter account or something. It's Castaldo 2012 on Twitter.
Absolutely.
So I don't know if I'll get my personal email out, but I'll give that out. And if you want to hit me up on there, I can give you my personal email.
Okay.
That or something. So.
All right. And you can also find you on Facebook, right?
I'm on Facebook, yeah. Too.
Yeah. Under Richard Castaldo?
Richard Castaldo, yeah.
Yeah.
Castaldo.
So your mom had access to your trust? Or?
Yeah, it's a stupid thing to do, but I don't know what's going on. It wasn't a smart thing to do, but I don't know. My stepdad claimed he knew what he was doing and just totally the real estate market crashes basically all in real estate, and that's what happened. Like the real estate market, it was like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Basically, it was all in real estate. So really not a good situation, and I kind of don't know what to do. So
they took your money and they put it in real estate?
Yeah. So.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't, supposedly the market is going to come back, but I don't know if I quite holding my breath on that one or not. But anyway, so.
Eventually.
Well, yeah. Who the hell knows how long that'll take. But anyway, it's just kind of a mess. So it's something I wanted to mention real quick.
Thank you. So, and if there's any lawyers out there that want to help out Richard,
yes, please.
Please contact him and give him some help, because you need to make sure that you're taken care of for the rest of your life. Now, you are a cannabis patient, right?
Right.
And when did you start doing that? Was it after the shooting? I mean, how is medical marijuana helping you right now?
Yeah, I mean, I have pain sometimes and stuff, so it helps with that. And sleeping, it helps with that. I get I'm in my power chair today, but usually I'm taking I'm in my manual chair most of the time, so doing that kind of, my lower back ends up hurting a little bit. So the medical marijuana helps with that, I've found. Sometimes my leg spasms too. It helps out with that, calms them down, like a natural way. So it's good.
That's good. Do you have to take any other medications?
Yeah, I take just for leg spasm, this thing called baclofen, but which works, but
you prefer to use.
Well, I don't know what the long-term consequences are. It might be bad for you long-term. Who knows? What
you mean, like the spasm medication, or?
Yeah, I don't. I heard from a couple of people it's maybe not the best thing, but it's
What are the complications?
Yeah, I don't even know. Just I don't know.
Just if they happen.
I guess that's the problem. Yeah, just.
Well, this isn't normal. I'm bleeding out of my ear.
I just don't think it's good to be on pills like that long term. But.
Oh, it is you.
Was it me?
It doesn't matter.
But it is pretty irritating to have your leg spasms. So anyway, but yeah, medical marijuana is good for that.
Yeah.
So helpful, but I feel I don't know if it's good to smoke all the time, but it's definitely good sometimes.
Well, but is it? I don't know if it's good to smoke all the time either. I'm going to agree with that. Some people need. I know personally in my life, there's times where I need to smoke it more than others. Stress factor, health factor. But I don't smoke every day, actually, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't. Yeah. And I don't smoke all day either. The whole thing is, like, when I started to get involved with, medical marijuana or recreational marijuana or being an advocate for marijuana, I get so frustrated or tired of the comments, the slants. Oh, Terry, this attitude that I don't have my shit together.
Right.
And honestly, I feel that if I wasn't able to, if I'm overstressed, which again, I'm an anxiety sufferer. Smoking it, calming down, having a glass of alkaline water, and meditating is a way for me to be more productive and more efficient in my life and healthier. So I kind of I get offended. I'm like, who are you talking to like this? I pay my taxes.
I pay my taxes, so you can
most of the time.
so the feds can bust Oakster name. That's what your tax money goes to.
Right. Well, that's a whole nother show, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose it would be. Yeah, probably so. It's a whole topic.
Marijuana and taxes. It's almost like an oxymoron. I mean, there's some hardcore marijuana people that don't want to have their medicine taxed.
Well, however, taxed and illegal, I suppose. But well, the medicine part's not illegal. I just mean, I guess, recreational. I guess is what I was talking about more than anything.
But even recreationally, I mean, let's break down recreational. I watched an HBO. It's called House. I think it's called House of Lies. It has Don Cheadle in it, and nearly every single episode they were drinking alcohol in it. And they were showing them being intoxicated. They also show them doing what's that animal tranquilizer, GCB or GHB or whatever.
Oh,
yeah. They're doing doing that as if that's a normal thing to do as a marketing consultant.
Isn't that like the date rape drug or something? GHB.
Yeah, I think it's been used for that too as well.
That's what I read.
But apparently, there's people that Special K or whatever. I mean, they
Special K. Yeah, that's the worst tranquilizer.
Yeah, it's something. I mean, it was
I've heard of it.
like as if it's. And then there's a scene where this little boy goes, "Oh, my dad smokes weed. Oh, my dad would never smoke weed." And I'm like, okay, what is the message here? You get people like fucking in bathrooms and taking the date rape drug recreationally, and then like, oh, my dad smokes weed. Oh, my dad would never smoke weed. Yeah, but he'd do GHB or Special K and screw a hooker. But that's perfectly acceptable on television. Oh, that's fine. And then they had this one episode, and not to say that I don't like the series, but I'm kind of wondering like what direction is it going in, because they have the thing where one of their clients is the pharmaceutical company, and then there was one, I don't know, the first episode had, like a Merrill Lynch-ish type of, company where they wanted to, they caused all the foreclosures and everything. And they talk about, we're going to revamp your image. And in the end, you're really not going to do much, but then you'll look like you're this great giver of amnesty and everything like that. And it made me sad. It makes me sad to see programming where they're still showing a way to make them look like they're compassionate, or this is a drug company that's not dangerous, and yet it's just a retooling of marketing, and that's still serving up the same bullshit. So I don't know if it's good or not.
Yeah, foreclosures.
Right.
Yeah, I might have a problem with that too, actually. But.
Sure. You might be foreclosing soon.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. If you want to help me out with that, I need help with that too, actually.
All right. Well, we got to get you some help, Richard. And again, where can our listeners find you?
Well, I say Twitter, Castaldo 2012, Twitter, or I'm on Facebook is probably the best place to find me.
And you do stand up too a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, I do sometimes. I've just been doing the open mic thing so far, but I haven't really got paid yet, but yeah, I've done some open mics and stuff. I had a show at the Comedy Store a couple months ago, I guess it was now, but that's on YouTube if you want to find it. It's actually Dick Castle 69 is my YouTube. So
Dick Castle again.
You can check.
I'm sorry, Dick Castle 69.
That's my YouTube channel. Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a porno. I don't know what does.
There's not a lot on there right now, but if you're bored, it's only like 4 minutes long. So if you're bored, you can check it out.
Oh, if you're bored, it's only 4 minutes.
It's only 4 minutes.
If you have nothing to do, just listen to the 4 minutes. If you. You're so cute. Okay, so you know what? I think we're at the end of our hour here.
The hour's up.
Yeah, I think we've come to the end of our rope. I want to thank you, Richard Castaldo, for coming to the show. I want to thank Francine Flores with the water ionizer for calling in and smoke some weed.
Yeah.
And stay healthy.
Thank you.